Welcome to Get Your Hands Off My Dogcast, episode 3, where we discuss the film Bingo from 1991.
And can I just say that was a beautiful song?
Well, thank you. We worked tirelessly on it, day and night. We slaved away.
The vocals spent a lot of time composing those lyrics.
Yeah. And I think you can probably agree it turned out great.
Yeah.
My name is Jamie.
I'm Oliver.
And as ever, I am Alistair.
And yeah, as I said, today we watched Bingo, which is a film I'd not heard of.
No, when we were researching various dog films, we stumbled across the poster. Before we knew anything else about it, and indeed, when we watched it today, we didn't know anything except for the poster's quite interesting tagline.
I can't remember the exact specifics of what the previous things are. It's like kicked out of the circus, abandoned by his friends, blah blah blah. But then, the main line is, "This shouldn't happen to a dog, but it did." And, I don't know. I just found it to be a very
intriguing,
very funny tagline. But it turns out that might have been intentional, because this film is it's actually a satire.
Sort of a satire.
We thought, is that confirmed, or is that just something we thought?
People on IMDb,
all the IMDb reviewers say that
it's a dogfight on their IMDb page about this film. People are convinced it's a sort of parody of dog movies, and then some people, it's just not very good, and they say that in an illiterate manner. But no, I think some of it's sort of too ridiculous to be
taken as anything but satire. I mean, then again, it's Poe's law, I mean,
I don't know explain to us Poe's law.
It's the...
I hope we're talking about Poe Dameron.
We sadly are
best
not.
Best character of Star Wars:
The
The Force Awakens.
much lesser known Edgar Allan Poe. Correct me if I'm wrong, Oliver, but isn't it that sometimes satire is indistinguishable from stupidity?
Potentially. I haven't studied up.
I could be wrong. It's been a while since year 12 English.
Oh, shit. Yeah, no, that sounds to ring a bell. What's the law about Nazis? Different one.
Many laws about Nazis.
The one in the internet.
I don't think it's legal. Oh no, that's Godwin's law.
Godwin's.
As soon as you compare someone to Hitler, you've lost.
You've sort of No, so the sort of parody aspect, I feel like there could be weight behind that, because there's a courtroom scene at one point, and in both of the previous dog movies we've witnessed a courtroom scene.
We've noticed a bit of a trend that there is quite a high kind of correlation between legal drama and dog films.
If I was going to make a satire, it would feature a courtroom in it, because that's all I know of dog films. So
it's a recurring motif, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
Certainly, it can be difficult to distinguish whether or not this film just leaned heavily on cliche, or was it in fact lampooning those cliches.
I tend to think it was satire. Some of the dialogue, which we'll get into later.
Yeah.
Sort of with the parents.
Let's just briefly run over a synopsis of the film.
Before we do that, it's pretty cold in this room.
Oh yeah. A bit icy even.
Feel fairly covered with ice. Let's bloody break through that. A big old hammer of discussion. Hey guys, if you were to carbonate a beverage that is not usually carbonated, which would it be?
That's a good one.
Yeah, because I see the soda stream over there, and I think, my one is tea.
Don't they have I'm thinking bubble tea, but that's not carbonated.
I think it's like the presentation is sort of like in a bubble, but I feel
I'm pretty sure. No, I think bubble tea is when it's like the little spheres of jelly-ish tapioca things.
I don't think it's actually got bubbles in it.
No.
Strange stuff.
Well, what would your choice be, Oliver? You're the one who...
Tea would be good.
Oh, so yeah.
I don't like it generally, but... what's the one...
I think milk would be quite interesting. I've had fizzy chocolate milk.
Yeah.
When I was in America.
Dairy with fizz sort of works. Spiders, I don't know about... that'd be...
The chocolate milk I had fizzy was not good. It was really awful.
Yeah.
So that wouldn't be...
did they professionally carbonate it?
It was like some... It was in San Francisco at some cultured market where all the hipsters were swanning around. So
I'd be intrigued to try it with wine. That
Isn't that? I was going to say wine, but isn't that just kind of
champagne.
well, yeah.
Yeah, but would it taste? You know, how would that taste? Would it be reminiscent of champagne, or would you clearly be like, no, this is wine?
I think if you like had sparkling red wine, yeah, you'd be like, oh, this is quite interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe
Well, that's going to be my answer as well.
Well, that's what I'm going to. It's the one I'm keenest to give a try to. So red wine next time we get my
I'm
hands
going to
on
go
that.
with Nesquik.
Shit.
Bold.
Okay.
I like it.
Good stuff.
So, if you, dear listener, if you have any thoughts on what beverage you'd like to carbonate,
Or any thoughts, just in
or
general.
any thoughts,
Keep them to yourself.
or alternatively, if you don't want to do that, you can put them on our Facebook page.
Just no matter what the
which
thought
we
is.
have.
Oh, we do.
No matter what the thought is, just post it there.
We want to know who exactly is listening
If
to
you've
the
had
show
a family
and
bereavement,
why.
maybe let us know. I'm just really.
We're
keen
here
to
for
talk to
you.
someone.
All right, so should we
Back
dig
to
into the
bingo.
old plot?
Yeah. Okay. So
Now that we're all warmed up.
as
I'm
ever,
toasty.
trying to keep it brief as ever. We follow the adventures of a dog.
That'll be tough.
Actually, what kind of dog is he? I don't know.
Oh, he's a mongrel.
He's
definitely
I feel
a
like
mongrel.
he's definitely got a look that I've seen other dogs have though. He's a kind of dog. I just
Are
don't
you
know.
sure?
why.
He is a
He's
kind of
on
dog
mongrels?
that's
Yeah, no, you're probably right.
presumably.
No, that's not.
Various characters.
It's not
people.
Pete.
I found him to be
feel
quite
like we
cute.
can't.
Thought he was quite a cute dog.
He was a good one.
Very expressive.
He was more attractive than the Tim Allen dog.
Yeah.
But Airbud is still a.
Oh, yeah.
Reigns supreme. What a dream.
Oh,
I
buddy.
thought he verged on being a bit mangy. Could have used a good haircut.
We didn't actually find out if this dog is dead, but you know,
We
the film
can
was-
safely
if
assume.
human science applies, if this is the he's
This is 91.
He's-
There's no way this dog is still alive. I'm sorry, guys.
he's left us.
Yeah. So the plot.
Okay, so we follow the adventures of a dog, Buddy.
No,
Type-
bingo.
Oh, Buddy, Bingo.
Buddy's from
you know.
Airbud. Bingo is the type
Bingo.
of dog.
We
Bingo
followed
was his
Bingo.
name, though.
Yes, we do follow.
As
Bingo.
many characters say in the film. We follow Bingo as he gets kicked out of a circus, runs away from his abusive owners who attempt to shoot him to death.
The wife's initially against it, and then she decides, no, let's shoot him.
Literally, that is her reasoning.
Yeah.
And he finds a young human boy who he loves and
Nominated
who
for
appears
2
to love
awards.
him.
No,
They bond
one.
over the course of probably about a week.
The boy's name is Chucky, by the way.
Yeah.
Has a brother named Chicky.
His
As he
parents, as will be revealed, are hugely negligent.
What are their names? Hal Devlin and Natalie.
Natalie.
Devlin.
Yeah.
Ran away with the
Hal
woman.
Devlin's actually
did
an
for
NFL player.
Yeah, at the age of sort of 40, 45.
yeah, he definitely does not fit the
He's-
profile of a.
He's a professional kicker for them, and there's a kind of running gag about the care he takes of his foot over the course
Always
of
got
the
his
film.
shoes off, he's always... Yeah.
He takes.
rubbing his bloody
a
foot.
great
Kind of
gag.
sickening,
Yeah.
honestly.
I was a fan of that. But unfortunately, tragedy strikes when Chucky moves away because his dad gets traded.
To the
Got
Green
quite-
Bay Packers, of course.
Of course, as
You've
we
got
all
good
know,
feet.
they're in
Wisconsin.
in Wisconsin.
Very smooth.
They moved from
right.
Denver, Colorado. No, was it Denver? Yeah, because he played
yes.
for the Denver Broncos. Yeah.
Denver is in Colorado.
I don't think that's
Denver's in Colorado, yeah.
deep to the plot. But anyway, so
Nothing is to be.
Bingo tries to basically track him down across the country and gets into various adventures and mishaps
That's
along
the
the way.
bulk of the film, yeah.
Well, because that's the
Then-
thing. There really isn't a I mean,
Yeah,
the plot is that Bingo is trying to get back to Chucky.
Yeah,
but the film is just a series of sort of events. I don't know.
There is kind of a plot which involves Bingo runs across 2 felons who have hijacked a caravan and taken hostages.
It's not a joke. They have a family locked in their bathroom.
They do, but it's very comedic. And the
They're in
family seem-
pyjamas, it's wacky.
and they all have glasses. And so these felons are very angry. Bingo testifies against them in court. And so they kind of are out for revenge and they track him down and then they nearly end up
Blowing up.
well, I think they do blow him up, but they nearly end up burning both him and Chucky to death in
Yeah, well, because
a warehouse or something.
Chucky's locked in a way. How does the warehouse get set on fire?
He throws a cigar.
That's right.
You need to pay more attention, Jacob.
I'm sorry. At this point, I'd sort of
Yeah.
checked out. The film really lost me in the last.
Yeah, so
God.
so guys, your kind of thoughts on the film, like in general.
I
Your
thought
review.
personally, I thought it was like quite refreshing. It seemed, it had quite a wacky, zany style to it. It was definitely exaggerated. It was relatively
There wasn't
entertaining.
much of an attempt at realism.
No, it was definitely a stylized world. I think it
was kind of the reminiscent of the magical realism of Gabriel Garcia Marquez.
I don't know who it is. Who is that?
Oh, he was a Latin American author in the 20th century.
Right, we'll take your word for it. As I said, I found the film sort of lacking in the third act. Well, because when it's just sort of these various events, Bingo just doing random shit like being a dishwasher.
Yeah, it's like
by licking plates.
2-minute chunks.
Yeah, you're just sort of like, here's another
It's
adventure.
episodic, and then it kind of tries to branch that out into a longer plot, but that doesn't really... The characters are kind of cartoonish enough that they can't actually sustain.
And it's just sort of going over the same thing over and over and over again.
And
like,
furthermore, I frankly wanted Chucky to burn to death because he was a very annoying child. Was not a fan of his character at all.
What about
Lord
you?
winner, I won't hear another word against him. Yeah, no, I was... I mean... Yeah, the last half an hour I really was not pleased with what was going on.
I could tell you were visibly sort of frustrated
and
with
sort of every
antsy
word of dialogue reminded me of songs, and it was a hard time. But early on, I was properly loving it.
There was some fantastic.
The comedy was really out there. The family's treatment of their children is ridiculous.
it's bad.
And there's a great prison scene in which everyone's pulling out larger and larger shivs.
Yeah, then I think that's quite a genuinely funny scene.
Yeah, I think so. Like they it's getting to the point where like what the first guy pulls out, like quite a realistically sized shiv, and it's a bit intimidating.
Yeah.
And then the next guy pulls out a Bowie knife, and then the guy after him pulls out a machete.
And then it sort of escalates from there.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we don't see any violence, but
no. Although the film kind of, in some areas, I quite liked how it kind of strayed towards darkness, almost unintentionally.
It's always teetering on the edge of something horrific. There's guns being pointed at people, and
tons of guns.
Genuinely feel that they're in danger.
Lots of guns.
It's quite an aggressive world. It's
a prison break scene in which a man is nearly shot to death.
Yeah, I genuinely thought he was going to be shot because the movie sort of
gets his face lacerated as he is sort of pulled across the barbed wire fence by Bingo.
Our introduction to Chucky is that he nearly he's knocked out in a stream. He nearly drowns to death and then is subsequently nearly eaten by a bear.
He's abandoned by his brother and friends.
Yeah, Chucky goes
left for dead.
Chucky's body is put through the fucking ring.
He's a survivalist.
He's like bound and
choking to death on smoke and getting knocked out.
He's unconscious.
He's
at least 3
repeatedly
times.
sort of
urinating everywhere.
Yeah, he's constantly.
His bladder's just in tatters.
So I did enjoy that aspect of the film. I think it went to some daring places that we haven't seen so far.
And a couple of swears as well. Shit was said a couple of times, which I was
controversy on IMDb about that. Yeah.
Yeah, some of the reviewers on IMDb were not happy that this film had bad language.
Shit, but Back to the Future, E.T. That's
like
I think in the 80s they were a bit more sort of fast and loose with the
E.T. and the Goonies and stuff. They say shit. That's why Stranger Things, the Netflix show. Not sure if any of you have watched it.
No,
I
great show.
Need to get around to it.
Very much harkens back to the sort of the Spielberg era. And it's got these great kids, and they feel like real kids because they're swearing and stuff.
Is it a kid show?
Huh?
No,
it's an adult show, but it's like that's not important to the plot of Bingo, but
it's an important recommendation.
Well, I like when kids swear because it's like,
I'll be watching that in 7 years. Okay.
So guys, what were your highlights from the film? Just one moment that stood out to you, Oliver?
Yeah, it's got to be the moment when they stumble across this sort of beside the highway, not a cafe exactly, but an eatery.
It's kind of barn which serves food.
Yeah, it's a massive sort of run-down barn. It's quite picturesque and lovely. There's a lot of good stuff in the movie visually, but and they serve them hot dogs, sausages. You think in buns, but it turns out they're actually storing literal dogs and killing them for meat, which I liked because that's incredibly dark and horrific, and some real stakes there, but it's impractical. Surely you're just going to get some cheap sausages is going to be infinitely easier than
it's really not
to death these dogs.
Far less efficient than kidnapping and murdering dogs.
2 people seem to work there. It's going to be really hard. You got to get all the fur off. You got to hack them to bits. Trust me, it's a real job.
You've had experience.
But yeah, I enjoyed that they went there, and it was an entertaining.
And there was that good scene with the cockroach.
Oh, yeah. The notion that there might be a cockroach in the barn is horrific and disgusting to the owner of the place who butchers dogs. Oh, of course we don't have cockroaches in here, in this dilapidated old barn.
Oh, it's very dingy as well.
Yeah.
It's not a hygienic
No, they
place
certainly stick to the health regulations and applaud them for it.
With their caged dogs.
Jamie, you got a...
My favourite moment, it's really brief, but it's when sort of quite near it's near the third act of the film, I guess, where Bingo has actually reached Wisconsin, I think, and he sort of goes to work as a kitchen hand, like he works as a sort of a dishwasher's assistant. And so the owner's like, oh, if you want to eat here, you've got to earn your keep. So he makes him a dishwasher, and he's like, oh, Jimbo, whatever this kid who works there is like, this is our new employee, Bingo the dog. He's going to be helping you out, and so this boy starts handing the dishes to Bingo, and Bingo's just licking them clean, and the boy looks on in absolute amazement. He cannot believe, he's like, oh my god, he's really fucking cleaning those plates. And it obviously gets to the boy. He's like, oh shit, I'm going to be overtaken in my career, because then later on when this boy goes to see, right,
he sells him out to the gangsters.
Yeah, he's going to... Yeah, the gangster's looking for Bingo, and this guy goes and says, hey, he's actually working at this cafe. He's like, he's an assistant dishwasher. And they're like, assistant dishwasher? He's like, he hasn't been promoted yet. So like, he's still trying to cling to his job, and he's worried that this dog is going to pass him in his career. That was my favourite moment.
Totally passed me by.
And I hope that actor has moved on to great things.
Yeah, or the very least main dishwasher.
Yeah, at least the head dishwasher. That's all I can hope. Alistair, your favourite moment?
My favourite bit probably came early. There were quite a few great moments that stood out. I liked the bear. That was a moment of genuine kind of... It was very menacingly shot. It was well shot. And in general, I'd say I think the photography in this film was actually a very high standard. There were some really good scenes.
Yeah, some nice
from in terms of colour and lighting and things.
It's quite beautiful, and walking across the road and like this noir feel for it.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a very noir section. And that's the dishwasher section.
Yeah.
So I like that. From a comedic standpoint, I thought the scene where Bingo is walking down a road and then he gets pulled over by a cop who asks him, have you been drinking?
And he has.
And, well, he has, but last night. And then he makes him walk down a straight line and then threatens to run him over. I just enjoyed that moment of absurdity.
That was good. And let's not breeze over the fact that we said he has been drinking.
Oh, yeah.
the night before, Bingo takes a female dog, we can assume a female, I guess maybe not, into her kennel and...
with a bottle of champagne.
Yeah, with a bottle of champagne. He pops the cork.
Yeah, and that's a sort of provocative end to the scene. It's that's a noise that
It was quite racy, I thought.
Oh, yeah, I was well hard.
So, characters, guys. What was your kind of take on the characters? Because obviously they're quite an eclectic bunch. We kind of meet a lot over the course of the film, over the course of Bingo's adventures. Very cartoonish, I thought. I was a huge fan of the dad.
How could you not be?
No, wouldn't want to spend time with him.
Oh no, but as a character, I felt he added a lot to the tapestry of the film.
He basically hates his family. He only cares about his...
He was very focused on it. To his credit, he was throwing the shots when he thought his son might literally be blown up.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
But early on, he advises his wife that their son's just missing. They don't know where he is. Their brother abandoned him. But sorry, the brother abandoned him. What actually happened is he's hiding from a bear, but the parents are just like, oh, he's just trying to manipulate us because he knows we're worried about him, so we can't worry about him.
They literally go to bed.
That's the dad.
Yeah, and then they think about phoning him in the morning, and he's wait until sunrise, wait till 7:17, then we can phone him.
And then
the sun does return.
It's distinctly bedraggled, definitely the worst for wear. Having spent a night out in the woods, again with a bear.
Mother is ecstatic. Her son is back.
You would go to bed not knowing where your son is and be like, I'm sure he'll turn up at some point.
He's returned for a different time.
Miraculous. He's come back and he says, I'm going to tear his arms.
And the mother says no, and then he says, well, at least one arm. And the mother kind of looks like she's
she ponders genuinely.
She's like, I guess we could get away with one arm. But the dad is
clear highlight.
He has the most to work with. The mum is just kind of...
The mum is...
She's a bit weird, though.
She just
She's
kind
got
of
some good,
seems like she's vaguely unhinged. Like, maybe she's, got a mild drug addiction.
I don't think it's mild.
Yeah.
I think she's well into it.
She's a wreck. Yeah. And then, she's going mad about her son being lost later on. Then 5 minutes later, she's just watching the game. Her son comes in with news of her other son being alive, and she says, "No, I'm trying to watch the game." Her priorities are all over the bloody map. And then the father has to specifically ask someone else at the stadium, "What's more important to you, football or family?" You gotta ask that question. Yeah, to which the guy's, "You kidding me? Football." Yeah, I thought you'd say that.
Anybody asking the question, "What's more important, a sport or my family?"
is not fit to be a father.
Fucking despicable man. Really. He's actually quite old now as well, that guy.
He was quite old in the film.
But he's still going strong.
Yeah,
We're supposed to buy that he's a professional athlete, and yet he's clearly pushing 50.
All his teammates are, normal age, but, he keeps his foot in good condition, so he's still going.
To be perfectly honest with you, that was the most unbelievable part of the movie.
Absolutely.
I believe that Bingo can drive a car. I believe that he can wash dishes. But you're telling me that this 48-year-old man is a professional football player, and I just can't buy it. I'm sorry.
Oh, that was good.
Fell apart there.
Yeah, and that's where the logic of the world really crumbles. Elsa, you had a theory, actually, about this movie.
Early on, long-time listeners will know that I do like to theorise a bit about the films we're watching and bring a bit of my own thoughts to the narrative. Early on, I suspected that potentially this film took place in a dystopian future. There was a distinctly kind of Mad Max vibe.
Yeah,
I picked up on.
Yeah, not specifically in sort of imagery or anything, but just in sort of twisted characters.
Exactly.
Just the tone I felt was kind of similar to the Mad Max movies.
There are a few indicators. There's the extremely violent police force. They respond to a threat that the two criminals have taken Bingo hostage, and they respond by surrounding the RV and opening machine gun fire on it until it's nearly completely destroyed.
And it's not like they don't know he's got a hostage. They say, "Let us go," or the dog gets it.
They just
open fire. So kind of maybe Judge Dredd, kind of drawing on that.
Very Judge
There's
Dredd.
like, I don't know, the whole scene with the dogs being kept in cages and the bit where they're eating dogs. That all seemed very dystopian to me.
Definitely.
That would definitely be kind of, not out of place in Mad Max.
No. Yeah, you can totally picture some guy living out in the desert farming dogs. And
in his creepy old barn with lots of people on motorbikes and stuff around.
Definitely.
But I didn't really think that was a compelling theory as the film went on. As we saw more of the world, I thought maybe this is just what the 90s were like.
I wasn't born in 91, so maybe...
I have literally no way of knowing. My new theory is that, okay, what happens towards the end of the film is that the criminals have rigged up a bomb to kill both Chucky and Bingo.
Sorry, Oliver's just fucking dousing himself in ice water.
It's just something you've got to accept about Oliver.
Cold water.
It's not exactly a hot day. Sorry, Alistair, continue.
Oh no, that's fine.
After being rudely interrupted. I won't stand for it.
So, what happens is he's getting rescued by the fire service, and for some reason instead of the police. But
No, because there's a fire.
Well, yeah, there is, but still, there's a kidnapping victim.
Yeah, that's true.
And there are no police on site.
Oh, you tired of this, Oliver? No. Have you had enough?
No.
Alistair's trying to explain something to us. He's giving some in-depth detail about the movie, and you're sitting here
it's sadly necessary setup.
That noise wasn't signifying any...
Okay, alright. Sorry, Alistair. Continue.
Anyway, but then Chucky informs him that there's a bomb in the suitcase. And the firemen all just kind of stand around, firstly they knock the suitcase onto the floor with wanton disregard for their own safety. But then they just kind of stand around in bemusement, so Bingo runs off with it. And in my opinion, it's clearly blown to death.
Because there is a big explosion.
It's a massive explosion.
In the centre of it, surely.
And fur falls from the sky.
Fur falls from the sky. A fireman catches some in his hand.
Yeah. He does end up in hospital, but seemingly fairly unharmed.
The next scene is Chucky waking up in hospital, and then he kind of, in a very weirdly shot sequence. He like goes into a hospital room where all the characters from the film.
It's very dreamlike.
Yeah, even the characters who have tried to kill this dog. The guy from the roadside cafe.
Yeah, Juke, the bloody dog butcher is there.
The lawyer who imprisoned him.
The explanation is that they all saw his exploits on the news and came to watch. But that really doesn't kind of ring true to me.
This is a fantasy.
It's clearly the kid is hopped up on opiates, he's on morphine, he's hallucinating, and Bingo is very much dead.
I think that much is very clear.
Physically and mentally, he's gone through so much stuff, and he's just going to live in this dream world instead.
I think
in
so.
which there's no pain, and his dog is alive.
And that scene, which is the last scene of the movie, ends with basically Chucky saying, "Hey Dad, can we actually keep this dog?" Everybody in the room convinces him, and he says, "Okay, but we have to get him neutered."
And then he kind of zooms up on
the
Bingo's
dog's
horrified
face, as if he's got
face.
trapped in the screen like a noose. Yeah.
Oh, it's very strange indeed.
Quite the ending.
And then the credits roll.
Yeah. Big fan of the soundtrack.
Yeah.
Oh
actually,
yeah.
so
You guys talk about that.
that sing song we were doing at the start
was
is
actually
basically
a perfect recreation of the soundtrack of the film.
literally all of the score of the movie is just sort of some sort of country guitar banjo-y riff with maybe a bit of harmonica, and then just the vocals of a madman sort of screeching and wailing. And that's not a joke. I implore you to go out and buy the soundtrack on vinyl. It's a real hit.
It's as if someone is trying to yodel, but they've never actually heard yodeling, and they've just kind of had it described to them.
I think that
They're trying to do it really quietly. There are people sleeping in the next room.
yeah, I think this composer was hired, and he's like, "I've got like 3 months to turn this score around." He was like,
And then he spent the whole time on cocaine and did it on the last day.
Well, yeah, so they said, oh, okay, we want it to be kind of, maybe some yodely aspects, a country sort of, just a bit of energy. And he's like, yep, no problem. Just sort of chilled around in his flat. Day before, he's like, oh, fuck, I've got to record that score. It's 3 a.m. I can't wake up my flatmates. And so he just sort of... and sort of just haphazardly smashed around a guitar. and then bingo, there's your score. Bingo.
Oh, lovely.
Anything else we want to say about bingo?
Yeah, no, not about bingo, but I don't understand in Australia how they get a 10-cent refund for handing in bottles.
You hand it back to the recycling person.
Yeah, I know, but why don't we have that here? It seems to be specific to Australia.
South Australia, right? Always
and it's always in New Zealand, but it makes me jealous because we have no system like that.
I'm missing out on so
I
many
think
10
there
cents.
is. Oh, maybe there's not.
I don't
You
think-
can get money for recycling here, though.
Yeah, but it's not like...
Yeah, but not just bottles, because this cost me $1. If I got a 10-cent refund, that's 10% of the...
That's not insignificant.
No. You could probably... Yeah. So that's...
You could fund a dog movie with that kind of thing.
Absolutely.
That's what we should do. That should be the end goal of this podcast.
Yeah.
If we
Use
get
our
any
expertise from
listeners,
all these films.
any
We
money.
need to monetize immediately. We need to sell out hard and fast.
All right, so...
If there's nothing else
If
that we want to
Pure
say,
NZ Spring Water want to sponsor
in
us.
that case, as requested by Oliver before the podcast started, I would like to end with a poem.
Oh, Jesus.
It is, in fact... Wait, haikus are the ones that go 575, right?
575, yeah.
Okay, in that case, I have written a haiku.
Oh, excellent.
This shouldn't happen to a dog, but it did. I still don't get it.
Well,
Thank you. I have a volume out next
Thank you for
week.
that, Alistair. Thank you, Pure NZ Spring Water, for sponsoring.
Oliver, quickly before we go, Oliver, what's the movie we're watching next time?
Oh, shit! Yeah. Okay, it's not going to be a surprise. The film that I'm pretty desperate to watch by now is Air Bud 2, Golden
yes.
Receiver. It's been rattling around in my brain for 3 weeks, and I'm desperate
Because if
to
you
talk
don't
about
recall, in week 1 where we were trying to watch Air Bud, Oliver accidentally by himself watched Air Bud 2, and so now we will
it.
finally
Late
get
at
to
night,
discuss
it was
that
a
one.
scary experience, and we're gonna get into that.
So yeah, next time Air Bud Golden Receiver. But until then, get your hands off my Dogcast.
Woo woo! Woo woo! Woo woo!